trials a week ago. Here's a young man who's had a very good indoor season so far. Rod Finch, personal best in both the British matches that we have televised from Glasgow in the 3,000 metres. There are 10 men in this lineup for the 1,500 metres. Run over 7.5 laps of the track. Rod Finch, Terry West, Bart McGank, the two Dutchmen, Frank Wyman and Simon Vrooman. Tony Morell, Ian Gillespie, the Kenyan Charles Cheriot, Ian Campbell and Matthew Hibbert, the full lineup. There's Morell right in the middle of the picture, who has achieved a great deal indoors in his career. Bronze medal twice in the European Indoor Championship. And fourth on this track a week ago in the 3A's indoor event. I think the crowd's applause for the various field events taking place just disturbing the concentration of the 1,500-metre men who go to the line now. Straight into the lead, Terry West from Sam's part of the world, Morpeth. He was third in the 3A's Indoor Championships. He wears number 4. Coming up in the Haringey colours, wearing 11, is Ian Campbell, Scotsman, who seems to be improving with every race. But first place now held by the man we were talking about just before the off, Rod Finch, 26. You hear the rattle of the boards here. This is one of the better liked tracks by these indoor athletes, but of course they have to wheel it in and wheel it out because this arena here in Birmingham, this magnificent facility, is used for a variety of events, not just sport, pop concerts, boxing matches, everything. But it's quite a fast track, and Rod Finch seems to be finding them all to his liking this winter. He's actually a paratrooper in the British Army, so he's a tough lad, Rod Finch, and he really has come to the fore indoors this season. Just over a minute, Steve, left for the first 400.
Not bad, really, and I think that Rod Finch, as you can see, is doing a good job. He looks very bouncy, doesn't he, when he runs at the moment, Rod? I think that's a sign of a man in form. He's easing the pace through somewhat, not fast, but it's spreading them out. Not bunching too much there, but it's good to see that he's getting that rhythm out front. I think it could have degenerated into a very slow race if he hadn't done this. And I think, as pointed out before the start of the race, this is a good testing ground for a lot of these athletes to see what they can do in this type of environment.
1 minute 30 at 600 metres. Next time round they have 4 laps to go. The leader is Rod Finch. In second place, Terry West. Third is Ian Campbell. Charles Cheriot, who we've seen a great deal of in this country over the years, the 29-year-old Kenyan, running at the back of the field at the moment. That's unusual for him because he's earned quite a few dollars over the years, acting as a pacemaker in the big European events. That's Cheriot, third from the back at the moment. 1:59 at 800 metres.
He's still working hard, Rod. That's good. I mean, I think he wants to prove a point in this race. I don't think he's going to try and let it, as I say, slow down into a race where he could finish way back in a sprint. So he's pushing it quite hard.
The Belgian Bart McGank has now moved through into 5th place with 3 laps to go. Finch has certainly placed himself in a position here where he could be the sacrificial offering. He led virtually from the gun, and no one has been prepared to go and share the workload with him so far. And indeed, second and third places have remained exactly the same since the race began, with West and Campbell in second and third. Cheriot now has moved up from third from the back to fourth from the front. 2 to go.
Still looking good though, Finch. He looked across there to see where his main danger was. Obviously West and Campbell are still up there, but no one's making any decisive moves. As I said, that it looks like West was going to make a challenge, but it's not a fast one. He's just easing himself in front there, and I don't think at the moment really anybody's going to try and win it from this far out.
It's the bell approaching, and the leader is Terry West from Ian Campbell. Finch has now dropped back into third place and may have nothing left to offer on the final lap, although he's gathering himself for a late challenge anyway. Matthew Hibbert is the one who looks friskiest of all in the maroon shorts, the 20-year-old Thames Valley Harrier, coming hard on the outside now, and the race looks to be between him and Campbell. Finch isn't finished yet, and nor is West, although he's tiring, and it's Campbell who's timed his sprint to perfection, or has he? No! Hibbert takes it right on the line in 3:43. A new personal best for the 3A's junior champion of a couple of years back. And in what was a competitive race, he got the tactics just right. Although he certainly took a risk. So Matthew Hibbard gets a lifetime indoor best and takes some useful scalps there. And there's Steve Cram, amongst others, ready to offer congratulations. And a certain Mr. Bruno, who isn't known for his liking for running. But don't tell him I said that.
I think Matt Hibbard didn't know he was shaking hands with until he realised the size of the hand that was shaking it. But I think he ran well here, Matt Hibbard. He tactically ran as best he could. He's on the inside here, number 12. He's in 4th position at the moment. All the work really done by Rod Finch. I think you've got to applaud that, because I think he made it an honest race. Matt Hibbard's coming from 4th around Rod Finch here, and he's making his move, really. West has decided that I don't think he's going to be in it at the running here. And Ian Campbell, I think, has made a big bid. And I thought at this stage that Campbell was going to win. He starts moving away here on the top bend, but I think he faded somewhat in the last 50 metres. Always happens indoors. It may not seem like a long straight, but it gives enough of a distance for someone to come back at you. And it's exactly what happened here. Matt Hibbard came hard in the last 10 metres and just snatched it. And a perfect race to win, because, I mean, obviously in the personal best, you can't do any more than that.
And there's the confirmation. Remember, the photo finish equipment is on the opposite side of the from whichever angle you look at it, there's no doubt that Matthew Hibbard was the winner. And is automatically expected to win any 1,500 metres match in just about any international, indoors or out, but no longer, I'm afraid. And indeed, the French here have arguably their best athlete in the entire French team running for them in this 1,500 metres race. Eric Dubout, who won the European Indoor 3,000 metres championships on this track in 1990 and won a World Indoor silver medal as well. A front runner, and his partner in this race here, Vincent Terray, who was 3rd in last year's French Indoor Championships. He leads at the moment with Dubout in 2nd place. Running for Britain here, Ian Grime, who was a very impressive winner on his Great Britain international debut in the match against Russia. He wears number 2, 2nd from the back of the field at the moment. Wearing number 1 is Grant Graham, the 22-year-old, making his senior international debut. He wears number 1. Running as a guest, all in black, is Ian Campbell, the Dundee-based athlete who's been runner-up in the 3A's Indoor Championships in the last 2 years. Steve Ovett.
I think you're quite right, and I think we're up against it in this race. Eric Dubout is a class athlete. I mean, he's just broken the French record for 3,000, 7:43, which is pretty impressive, I must admit. And with his teammate there, Vincent Terrier, I wouldn't be surprised if these two boys don't get 1 and 2, which is, as you quite rightly pointed out, quite a feat against Britain usually in the 1,500 metres, but nowadays not that unexpected, I'm afraid.
Big, strong-looking man, the 28-year-old Frenchman. He's just beaten the French record, incidentally, for 3,000 metres, so he's in good form as well. And dropping down to this lower distance, I bet he feels fresh and strong, and he certainly looks that with 4 laps to go. Running very well. Here's the guest, Ian Campbell, who is coached by John Anderson, the man who guided David Moorcroft during the great days of his career. And he'll be very pleased with the way his charge is doing so far in this race. Campbell, the guest, in 2nd place, splitting the 2 Frenchmen, Dubout and Terrier. 3 laps to go.
Well, this is where the hammer goes down from Dubout. He's a notorious front runner, and I mean, he looks a bit ungainly, but once he starts powering away there, really, really is strong. It's a horrible feeling when you're behind someone like that, because you know he's not going to tire. You know, with 3 laps to go, he's just going to get faster and faster. So in the back of your mind is just how long you can hang on. Dubout now really pushing it as we come to 2 laps to go, and really he's dropping the rest of the field.
And the charge for British points here being led by Ian Grime, although he's a long way off Dubout. And it's still Campbell in 2nd place. Grime now moving into 3rd. Graham is in 4th. Terrier at the rear of the field. the next time round it's the bell. Grime has made up a lot of ground on that lap, and he's certainly got Campbell in his sights, though it looks at the moment as though Deboo is too far ahead of him, surely, but who knows? Maybe Deboo will pay the price for having led for so long. I can't see it, though. There's an awful lot of work to do here for Grime, but he's going to give it his best shot. And Deboo is certainly tiring. Look at the expression on his face, and he's getting slower and slower, and Grime is getting quicker. But Deboo's lead should be enough to cushion him against an upset here in the final straight, and it is. He had to work hard for that in the end, and Grime comes sweeping through to take second place behind, just ahead of the guest, Campbell. Well, it was a good race in the end, and Deboo sensed that Grime was making up ground behind him and had to dig in again, and he found that hard work.
Well, that was a good run from Ian Grime. Then we clocked him at 3:43.3. If that's the case, that's a good performance. A quality field here in this 1500 metres. With Deboo pulling them through there at a very fast pace indeed. 3:41, the winning time, which is respectable indeed. It's below 4-minute mile pace. As you said, Alan, Deboo suffering over this last part of the race, but really it's only in his upper body. His legs are still running hard and running well. Grime coming through here, challenging Campbell around this top bend. Campbell struggling to keep the pace going. Deboo also tiring. A lot of tired athletes coming into this straight, but in the end a convincing victory there for Deboo, with Grime just snatching it from Campbell.
Welcome back, just in time for the start of the first round in the men's 1500, first of 3 heats. Ian Campbell of Great Britain will have the pleasure of taking on the world record holder there. You can see the new world record holder, El Garouge of Morocco. What a season he's having. 2 world records, 1500 and at the mile. Campbell from Haringey will certainly have to run an excellent run here, an excellent race here to finish in the top 3, because the qualifying's quite tough. Giuseppe D'Urso of Italy also in there. Niall Bruton, who actually beat Ian Campbell at the 3 Years Championships. Very experienced now. In fact, this is Ian Campbell's just second international appearance, and the last one was here at the European Indoor Championships 3 years ago, so you should know this track. First 200, around about 30 seconds or so. In the front is the big Hungarian, Tolgiesi, and Bruton just slotting in behind him. Hamilton in 3rd place. El Garouge, the man, I was going to say who everyone's been talking about. I mean, they have been, but there's been so much going on this year. With Gebre Selassie's exploits over 5,000. Now Wilson Kipketer at 800. The distance men really are burning up the tracks, Tim.
Well, they are, yes, of course. Gebre Selassie's 5,000 at Stockholm some 3 weeks ago, everybody thought was incredible, under 13 minutes. El Garouge, a world record himself, 3:31 in Germany a month or so back. And of course Kipketer today, so you just wonder when it's going to stop, don't you? But obviously he's taking the cautious route here today, just wants to qualify for the final okay, and take home that gold medal, defend his title successfully, because of course he won in 95. I think world records in these sort of circumstances at 1500, and as the distances go on, harder to achieve.
Well, D'Urso, as I said, the Italian moving up on the outside, ran a new Italian record a couple of weeks ago, 3:37. Jason Pyra just took to the back of the field. He's the American indoor champion and can move over the last 200 or so. But El Garouge is just looking so relaxed, and this sort of pace, although it was 59, which is quite decent, just feel so comfortable to him. Tolgiesi leading them still. El Garouge, good tactical brain now. 1:58 through 800. Said the pace is solid without being spectacular. Niall Bruton still looking comfortable there, just keep an eye on the lead. El Garouge now decides it's time to move through. D'Urso rightly keeping an eye on the world record holder. Bruton's done a good job of moving out. Ian Campbell may well have to try and extricate himself from that, and he seems to be doing so. Tolgiesi beginning to move back through the field now as El Garouge puts his foot down and starts to wind it up through 1,228. Niall Bruton in a good position there. D'Urso looking as though he might be beginning to work hard. Of course, for most of these men, anything around about 3:37, 3:38 is going to be at the edge of their limit, whereas for El Garouge, it's going to be almost stroll in the park stuff. And El Garouge, look at this, just puts his foot down, strides out down the back straight and immediately opens up a gap of 5, 6, 7 metres, and the rest and just have to let him go, and there's nothing they can do, and they'll be running for the second and third spot. After watching Wilson Kipketer break a world record in the heats 1 and 2, probably maybe not quite as knowledgeable people saying, do you think El Garouge might do the same thing? Well, there's absolutely no need to, but he's showing the sort of form that he's in just by turning on the burners for a short space. Now, Niall Bruton in second place, chasing him down with Jason Pyra just looking over his shoulder. El Garouge is almost jogging around the top bend there, and they're closing up on him fairly quickly, and I'm sure he'll just pick it up enough to get down to the finish line without any problems. And it's been a fairly impressive trot out for the world record holder. Good run by Niall Bruton. Jason Pyra will pick up that third spot, and then the others will have to wait to see. Only 3 men will qualify for the fastest loser time, so I don't think Ian Campbell will be fortunate enough to go through, given the fact that there's a quick handshake from the world record holder. We've got another 2 heats coming up, but impressive stuff there.
Very impressive indeed, Steve. As you said, he really only turned on the power to open up that gap for about 100, 150 metres in the penultimate lap. But that was enough. Must have psychologically destroyed